Recording. All right, we're on air. It is Thursday, April 20th. Happy Thursday, everybody. This meeting is to talk about community outreach for Backdrop CMS. So we have a couple of items we've made some progress on since last week. Starting with the website, Graham wrote a fantastic blog post about the state of contrib that we had reviewed, revised, and published. So that went live this morning. I would definitely recommend reading it. It's a really good job of kind of the state of where things are in Backdrop, which I think looks great. We will probably do a newsletter this month that matches the intent of that blog post. So it'll just talk about where contrib is for Backdrop, so anyone who's interested in moving to Backdrop knows what things are like over here. We also have Wes working feverishly on the new homepage design and some of the other things that are related to that, like the drop-down menus and the new footer and stuff like that. So I haven't heard from him since last week, but it sounded like things were coming along well enough and he was asking for other things to do, so that's good. So hopefully we'll be able to get that rolled out pretty soon now too, and at least back in place. I also saw an update from Laren this morning saying that he was going to start working on videos for us, which is super exciting. So specifically about like the new big features for Backdrop that are included since 1.0. So in case anybody doesn't know, hasn't looked at it recently, they'll be able to see some of the new things that went in. So that's pretty exciting. I don't know, other things we should be doing. I guess there are some events coming up this week. A lot of people are heading to DrupalCon Baltimore. And so I'm hoping that, I'm not going to do them myself, sadly, but I'm hoping that people who are fans of Backdrop will get together somehow, whether it's in the hallway or in the bar at night and just say, hey, Backdrop, that would be great. But we'll see. I'll watch the Twitters and see what's going on there. Hopefully they can have a little hurry. Is there anything else that you guys want to specifically talk about regarding outreach? No? Okay, well, so one thing that Wes asked for last week was help with content for the new homepage design. And so Tom, thank you for volunteering to help with that. Gregory, I know you'd started creating all of these nodes on backdropcms.org for features. So maybe since you guys are both here, we should do a little talk about how we envision those working. So on the current site, there's one field for blurb that's just like a single sentence. But on the new design for the homepage, we want to have like a rich text field with bullets in it for takeaways about what those items are, and then include like a screenshot or a video of whatever the feature is. So we're trying to figure out like how to take the content that we have now and turn it into the content that we want in the future. And so I went ahead and made that blurb field not required, so that Tom could start playing with that stuff. But Tom, just so you know, all of those things are on the homepage right now. So if you delete a blurb, there will be a bullet on the homepage with nothing showing. So, fair warning.
That's why I went ahead and made just a test page of a feature page to play with. So I'll delete it when I'm done. I just wanted to see what features were mandatory. And that's when I came across the blurb. And the icon class, too, is a mandatory field.
Yeah.
So since those are live, do you want me to make the changes here or just make a note of it to come back later?
Like as much as possible. I mean, we're still going to need the icon in the new version of the site too. It's just going to appear in the tab, not in the like body area. So it's important that those things, I think, remain there. I would just say, like, as you're editing the content, we should just be like, edit the existing thing, read the blurb, rewrite it into the description field. And then when we start building out the new views, we'll use the new fields. And then when we switch them, we can go back and remove the old ones. But we're still going to need the icon classes. Still should be required. And the blurb, we just can't like remove anything that's there now. But when we launch the site, we can remove it later if we decide it's not valuable.
Okay, so the two things that I'm adding are a screenshot and the bullet points. But I could go ahead and add those now.
Yeah, because those aren't going to show up anywhere.
Okay, and is there I know it says screenshot desktop. Is there a size and width? Because it goes in, but I didn't know that. It's a fixed width, but I didn't know about the heights to keep them all the same.
Yeah, I would say we should probably choose some like standard dimension that looks good. Let's look at the designs.
Yeah.
And see what the like aspect ratio is, and if we can create something that's at that aspect ratio. Like when we put it on the homepage, it's going to be tiny, but if you click through to that feature, we still want to have the big version. So the one that we should be uploading should be big enough that it's going to look good in full size.
Okay.
So I would say, I don't know. Let's look at the designs and see what the aspect ratio is, and we'll come up with what dimensions those images should be. And it might be kind of hard to get a screenshot in exactly the right dimensions. So we'll see what we end up, what it looks like in the end, and if we have to adjust the aspect ratio based on the actual content. Like a layout CUI, it's going to look good in landscape because it's all portrait, but we can try to figure that out.
Okay.
Maybe for the icon, since it's required, if people have trouble finding out a proper icon, maybe we should find the generic one and have it as a default value for that field in case that people, like for all features that are generic.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I don't know, Tom, if it looks like you had looked around at the icons a little bit today. I don't know if you saw one in there that would be like, this one says I'm a feature, and like, I don't know, like a puzzle feature or something, and drop that in.
Sure. Yeah, I can just put $signs by everything. Do you want me to...
Or star signs, or have a dragon sign or something.
Dragon. We should get the backdrop dragon added as a font or awesome icon, and then we can put it everywhere.
That would work. Would it be easier for the ones that I'm making to just make them as new feature pages? That way they don't override anything that's currently published?
I don't think so, because the only things that are currently published are the icon and the blurb. And if we're not going to be using the blurb or the image in the new set, or we're not going to be using the stuff that we're using now in the new site, I think it won't be an issue.
Okay, that's cool.
I thought I had an idea that these, like, we need the what you call it, the views grid display thing getting into views. We could use that for these things.
Okay.
And then
should we apply
I think
the patch from the pull request and test that?
Yeah, and I think that the original design had 3 or 4 features as not as a slider, as a what you call it? Yeah, a slider, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, rotator.
But for the home page, but yeah, we can get a separate features, like a dedicated page for that, where they show as a list.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the home page, it wasn't a slide. I don't know, maybe it was a slider, but I think we're not going to launch with the slider. We're going to choose a fixed number, and then we're going to have those tabs. And then we weren't going to have the sliding, we're just going to have tabs. And then over time, if we want to add more things, we can put like a slider button and figuring out how to slide the tabs is going to be tricky. So yeah, I was thinking like for launch, let's just choose 3 to 5 items.
That's why I hesitated when I said accordion slider.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. It was tabs, and we need to figure out. We can use the promoted field, I guess, for the homepage, so for some of them. But then we need also to be able to reorder them, I guess.
Yeah.
So draggable views is in order as well.
I'm not sure we need draggable views, but I think what we do, because we're not going to let anyone who's looking at the page reorder them. I think what we need is like a note queue or something where we can save the order that we want to show to people. But we definitely need something. And Tom and I were actually just talking about this. And he's like, how do I set the weight? And I'm like, we don't have anything on the site. I mean, so there's a couple of hacks that we could do. Like we could add a numeric weight field. That's the easiest thing to do. I like to hack things with like updated date or post date and just like sort them by date and then like change the date to match the order that I want. That's my favorite hack. But yeah, we could use an integer field, or we could put in a node queue. I mean, I think it just matters. Like, it doesn't really matter as long as we can do what we need to do now. We should figure out like a solution for this long term that we're going to want on the site to use everywhere. I would kind of lean towards node queue just because that's something that is super easy to manage and can be recycled everywhere. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I'd rather have something else.
The reason why I mentioned draggable views is that's what I used to do. I used to give permission to the site owner as they were adding things to just, I had a separate view for them, which would be the order of images or whatever, and they would just change the weight of these things, and then I would have the view.
Still a field you had to add on content type for weight, right? And what are you changing the order of? Because draggable views usually ties to a specific thing, but
I think it has a weight field or something.
yeah, so that would be the same solution as if we just added the weight field and did it manually. We just wouldn't have a fancy draggable things for it.
Yeah.
Well, and once they're created, they're not going to be changed that often.
Yeah, it's also true. Yeah, I don't know.
The only use case that I can think of is we have certain features, but say when the new drop-down menus happened, this needed to be one of the featured ones. You know, maybe it needs to be in the place of the oldest big feature. That's what I was thinking.
That's true. We could have like one of those 5 always be like what's new, like the 4 that will sell the product, and then the 5th one that's like, this is what went in this release. And then that way there's always something on the homepage where people would be like, oh, look, they just added whatever. That might be good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, well, let's start with a weight field. Tom, do you have access to add a weight field to that content type?
I do not.
Okay.
I don't see the content types.
I was just in there making that thing not required, so I didn't even have the tab open. But we can add a numeric weight field, and then you can just set that, and then we'll use that for the sort order for now. And then if we want to add like draggable views to just a weight field in the future, we can do that too.
Cool.
Anything else you think we should talk about? I just figured since you were both here and you're both working on features, that would be a good use of our time.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
When we get done with the live broadcast, I do have one other thing.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast, and we can take this talk offline. Thanks for coming in.